This is the Meeple Palace, and welcome to our Horde of the Dragon Queen campaign. Welcome to the world of Kavern, a place of sword-swinging and spell-slinging adventurers out to save the world and line their pockets, one session at a time. I am Xander, the Storm Meeple, and I will be your dungeon master for this campaign. With me tonight we have Will from Basis of Operations, playing as the mighty red dragonborn fighter and battle master Rogar. Kitten, also known as the Super Sundry Girl, playing the wily and sneaky dwarf Vistra, who plays as a rogue specializing as an arcane trickster and also a wizard. Kellum, playing the unstoppable abomination smashing war cleric Pedrick. We thank you for joining us as we tell this tale. Pull up a chair and experience it all with us as we roll into glory. This is the Meeple Palace, and welcome to our Horde of the Dragon Queen campaign. Welcome to the world of Kavern, a place of sword-swinging and spell-slinging adventurers out to save the world and line their pockets, one session at a time. I am Xander, the Storm Meeple, and I will be your dungeon master for this campaign. With me tonight we have Will from Basis of Operations, playing as the mighty red dragonborn fighter and battle master Rogar. Kitten, also known as the Super Sundry Girl, playing the wily and sneaky dwarf Vistra, who plays as a rogue specializing as an arcane trickster and also a wizard. Kellum, playing the unstoppable abomination smashing war cleric Pedrick. We thank you for joining us as we tell this tale. Pull up a chair and experience it all with us as we roll into glory. This is the Meeple Palace, and welcome to our Horde of the Dragon Queen campaign. Welcome to the world of Kavern, a place of sword-swinging and spell-slinging adventurers out to save the world and line their pockets, one session at a time. I am Xander, the Storm Meeple, and I will be your dungeon master for this campaign. With me tonight we have Will from Basis of Operations, playing as the mighty red dragonborn fighter and battle master Rogar. Kitten, also known as the Super Sundry Girl, playing the wily and sneaky dwarf Vistra, who plays as a rogue specializing as an arcane trickster and also a wizard. Kellum, playing the unstoppable abomination smashing war cleric Pedrick. We thank you for joining us as we tell this tale. Pull up a chair and experience it all with us as we roll into glory. This is the Meeple Palace, and welcome to our Horde of the Dragon Queen campaign. Welcome to the world of Farun, a place of sword-swinging and spell-slinging adventurers out to save the world and line their pockets one session at a time. I am Xander, the Storm Meeple, and I will be your dungeon master for this campaign. With me tonight we have Will from Basis of Operations playing as the mighty red dragonborn fighter and battle master Rogar. Kitten, also known as the Soup Sundry Girl, playing the wily and sneaky dwarf Vistra, who plays as a rogue specializing as an arcane trickster and also a wizard. Kellum, playing the unstoppable abomination smashing war cleric Pedrick. We thank you for joining us as we tell this tale. Pull up a chair and experience it all with us as we roll into glory. This is the Meeple Palace, and welcome to our Horde of the Dragon Queen campaign. Welcome to the world of Farun, a place of sword-swinging and spell-slinging adventurers out to save the world and line their pockets one session at a time. I am Xander, the Storm Meeple, and I will be your dungeon master for this campaign. With me tonight we have Will from Basis of Operations playing as the mighty red dragonborn fighter and battle master Rogar. Kitten, also known as the Soup Sundry Girl, playing the wily and sneaky dwarf Vistra, who plays as a rogue specializing as an arcane trickster and also a wizard. Kellum, playing the unstoppable abomination smashing war cleric Pedrick. We thank you for joining us as we tell this tale. Pull up a chair and experience it all with us as we roll into glory. This is the Meeple Palace, and welcome to our Horde of the Dragon Queen campaign. Welcome to the world of Farun, a place of sword-swinging and spell-slinging adventurers out to save the world and line their pockets one session at a time. I am Xander, the Storm Meeple, and I will be your dungeon master for this campaign. With me tonight we have Will from Basis of Operations playing as the mighty red dragonborn fighter and battle master Rogar. Kitten, also known as the Soup Sundry Girl, playing the wily and sneaky dwarf Vistra, who plays as a rogue specializing as an arcane trickster and also a wizard. Kellum, playing the unstoppable abomination smashing war cleric Pedrick. We thank you for joining us as we tell this tale. Pull up a chair and experience it all with us as we roll into glory. This is the Meeple Palace, and welcome to our Horde of the Dragon Queen campaign. Welcome to the world of Farun, a place of sword-swinging and spell-slinging adventurers out to save the world and line their pockets, one session at a time. I am Xander, the Storm Meeple, and I will be your dungeon master for this campaign. With me tonight we have Will from Basis of Operations, playing as the mighty red dragonborn fighter and battle master Rogar. Kitten, also known as the Soup Sundry Girl, playing the wily and sneaky dwarf Vistra, who plays as a rogue specializing as an arcane trickster and also a wizard. Kellum, playing the unstoppable abomination smashing war cleric Pedrick. We thank you for joining us as we tell this tale. Pull up a chair and experience it all with us as we roll into glory. This is the Meeple Palace, and welcome to our Horde of the Dragon Queen campaign. Welcome to the world of Farun, a place of sword-swinging and spell-slinging adventurers out to save the world and line their pockets, one session at a time. I am Xander, the Storm Meeple, and I will be your dungeon master for this campaign. With me tonight we have Will from Basis of Operations, playing as the mighty red dragonborn fighter and battle master Rogar. Kitten, also known as the Soup Sundry Girl, playing the wily and sneaky dwarf Vistra, who plays as a rogue specializing as an arcane trickster and also a wizard. Kellum, playing the unstoppable abomination smashing war cleric Pedrick. We thank you for joining us as we tell this tale. Pull up a chair and experience it all with us as we roll into glory. This is the Meeple Palace, and welcome to our Horde of the Dragon Queen campaign. Welcome to the world of Farun, a place of sword-swinging and spell-slinging adventurers out to save the world and line their pockets, one session at a time. I am Xander, the Storm Meeple, and I will be your dungeon master for this campaign. With me tonight we have Will from Basis of Operations, playing as the mighty red dragonborn fighter and battle master Rogar. Kitten, also known as the Soup Sundry Girl, playing the wily and sneaky dwarf Vistra, who plays as a rogue specializing as an arcane trickster and also a wizard. Kellum, playing the unstoppable abomination smashing war cleric Pedrick. We thank you for joining us as we tell this tale. Pull up a chair and experience it all with us as we roll into glory. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Meeple Palace's Horde of the Dragon Queen campaign. Hope you like our little intro video. So before we begin, us. To our Patreons, and so that's to Basic Operations. Will is our very member of the Palace, as well as to Plutonium OD, who is another great guy. You'll see him in the chat. Please say hi to him. He's one of our patrons, and he is brilliant. Thank you so much.
So supportive.
Also, us into affiliates over the holidays. Yeah, we're affiliates now, and I'm working on those emotes. So we're gonna have some Meeple emotes for you very, very soon. We've actually got a fewer players than normal this week. We have, as I said on the video, we've got Will, Super Sundry Girl, and we've got Kellum, who's back with us.
Yay!
Now, welcome back, Kellum, after your sojourn away from your house. All the work was getting done. So we basically we left off our last adventure with our adventurers meeting up with Serena Star. She told you about this state of missing children, and she gave you her authority to try and investigate. She inducted you into a secret order of fighters known as the Dark Blades. This is an organization dedicated to patrolling and uncovering different parts of the ruins underneath the city of Elturel, as well as any potential openings into those enemies from below. Elturel, like a lot of ancient cities, was built on top of other civilizations, previous sites of other civilizations that before their own. Each of our members has been gifted with a blackened dagger. We have 5 in total, and 2 of them were left for. I believe, did you leave 2 of them behind for Tack or did you bring them with you?
No, I left them and a note with the 2 antlers.
That's right. Indeed, you did. The 2 antlers, which is the base of the Order of the Order of the Gauntlet, which is the sort of like a holy order of paladins, get dedicated to Torm. And these blades are quite special. They're made of black material. They have a couple of special properties. One of which we discovered was that if you attack, if you do a sneak attack, it automatically happens if you have advantage. So if you don't have the circumstances for it, it allows you basically to sneak attack as long as it's main hand, if you have that option. Also, when you go into the dark, your dagger glows with a blue outline visible only to yourself. So if you drop it, you'll be able to find it easily in the dark, and no one else will be able to see it. Basically, the dagger has bonded itself to you in some way, shape, or form. And finally, through combat, you discover that it has a nasty effect on creatures of darkness in combat. Definitely, particularly against the were creatures fighting. You were also gifted a vial of Stinger's Luck, which is a potion that, if you were to drink it, gives you 8 hours worth of luck. Basically, you get 3 luck. Whenever you make a roll, an attack roll, an ability check, or a saving throw, you can spend 1 luck point to roll an additional die, and then choose which one you want to use. Okay, so it's basically acts a little bit like, but allows you to use 3. Basically, you get 3 shots. You also cannot take it. You're given 7 vials of fluid, and you could. If you do take it, you can't take it within, I believe, did I say a month? No, fortnight. You can't take it again within a fortnight. The 10.
You said
just check.
once per 10 day.
Once per 10 day. That's right.
Yeah.
This is this potion of Stinger's Luck, and I believe vials on it at the moment.
I think I've just had a look. I've got 4 of them.
You've got 4 of them. So were the others held for?
4, 5.
Coming, I believe.
Yeah, I think
So they'll be
Vista
left with
1,
the daggers.
and I gave Hal 1.
So you still have 4, and you give Corbenicus 1 as well.
That's it.
So you've got 1, 2, 3. Okay, so you entered into the sewers. In the first chamber, you found yourself in. There was a metal door leading further down into the sewers. You investigated the door and found that there had been a crossbow cleverly concealed into a corner, but also attached to the door by a wire, so that if the door were forced open, it would fire and
Welcome.
open the door. You failed to disarm it, unfortunately. You did notice it, but you failed to disarm it. But you did manage to fight off the poison. You did get shot, but you didn't. You fought off Vistra. And then you entered into the tunnel where you bored carefully, but unfortunately were detected, and a volley of spears was thrown your way. Again. But this one you did manage to dodge. I believe it was Vistra again who got inspired. And you ended up
punching
fighting
bag.
a hunting party of 4 were-rats who were lying in wait for anybody who would be entering into their domain. You managed to kill 3 of them, and one of them, Rogar, you grappled and held firm, but not before Colbernicus and Vistra both contracted a terrible disease from a bite given to them by each of these creatures of darkness. Let it just be said as well that in my version, it's not exactly the same, I know, but this is the way I see lycanthropy working. It's a disease that's inactive until it's activated by the first full moon. Okay, so this disease, you have it, it's currently dormant, but you will not be affected by lycanthropy until its first activation, which will be in a 10-day from now. I've got to stop using a 10-day as my go-to unit. But yes, a 10-day from now. I don't know what to call 2 weeks in this. It's not a fortnight, is it? It's 2 10-day. It's a 10-day.
Yeah.
So that's where we ended the last fight. We do not have Nate with us today, and unfortunately, it doesn't look like Nate's coming back to the game. I will be playing the role of Hal and Corbin at this time. Hal will be rather quieter than usual, but we'll probably follow your and do what. So I'll try and play him a bit as Nate if possible. We also so we're going to start the game by actually just doing a little bit with Pedrick, so we can see what he was up to while we're actually there. So what I'm going to do is, just for the moment, I'm going to change our screen back over to Elturel. Don't worry, it won't delete anything. Everything will still be there. Okay, and when last we saw Pedrick, he and Tack had actually decided to basically, Pedrick, what happened was when you awoke in the morning in the 2 antlers, you found a short scrawled message had been left with the barkeep, and this was from a member of your local chapter who was present in the city, asking for you to meet with him. You head towards the Street of the Gods, which is on the western side of the city, where a lot of the minor to the are held, and there is a temple of Torm dedicated to a sect that is actually present there. You would know this. This would be information that was given to you before you left. Several places that you could possibly go if you needed to meet up with your brothers or to give them an update. So the letter was not signed, but it was basically, when you touched the paper, it illuminated itself with the sort of the symbol of Torm in the corner that you recognised as being an authentic message from a member of your. Okay, so basically that's where and we left with you and followed you, but he diverted and he's gone somewhere. We don't know where he's gone at this particular point in time. He disappeared. But we sort of come with you now as you're exiting the 2 antlers with your message in hand, heading towards your local chapter house.
audio's in.
Sorry?
I had lost you for a second there.
Oh, okay. Did everybody lose me?
No, I had you.
For me, I heard you.
Okay, so I think I got the gist of it. So obviously, receiving such a message and knowing that it was indeed authentic, I would have set out to find the meeting place or that temple.
Okay. As you head down the Street of the Gods, you notice that as you're heading away from the larger temple in the district. You also your order being a very militant order, um, and its own chapter of worship regarding Torm. It has its own building sort of dedicated to your brotherhood, and sort of it's not a small temple, but it's definitely I would when you look at the building, it's quite stern and austere. Okay, the building is well fortified. It looks like it's made out of a solid stone that's been very gently carved, very subtly carved with religious symbols and depictions of Torm. Nothing ostentatious the outside of this temple. There's no gold or glitz or anything like that. It's not really that sort of temple. It's quite a stern building. You don't see a lot of people going in to the building. It's not that it's It's not that it's forbidding, but it just looks quite formidable. Okay.
Okay.
The doors are open. The main doors are open. And as you approach the doorway to the temple, you see there is a young boy wearing novice robe, and he seems to be on the lookout for someone. As he sees you, as he sees you walking towards him, he recognizes your stature and your sort of the weapons that you carry, being that which a cleric would often wear. He gestures to you. He makes a symbol of Torm, which is like a hammer across the chest. And he towards you and looks expectantly at you.
I returned the gesture.
Okay,
And
yep.
go ahead.
No, go ahead. No, please continue.
And says, "Welcome or greetings, brother. I am Pedrick. I have been summoned to the temple. Can you?"
Indeed, noble brother. Please, I am but a humble novice. Please do not address me as an equal. I'm very pleased to meet you. Brother Redbeard has been waiting for you. I'm to direct you to the main where you'll be greeted by several of your brothers. Please follow me. And he sort of scampers off into the room, looking quite nervous, but also to have been given this.
I follow him.
Okay, so as you follow him in, you see inside again the lack of ostentation is clear throughout the building. A lot of the reliefs that you see around you are carved out of stone or marble, but not adorned with any frivolous decoration. The window is quite dark inside, and sort of the gloom is then replaced by a red glow from the braziers hanging from the ceilings, and it's very welcoming. You can feel as you enter a sort of a welcoming holiness that envelops you. Whatever or manifestation this is, you can tell that your actions have obviously been pleasing towards your god and he's very happy. This aspect of him is very happy to welcome you into his house of worship. There's a number of initiated brothers running around. They're wearing they're unlike the novices, which are just wearing plain white robes. These are wearing armor. So each of them carries a. They also wear a hauberk or chainmail, and a number of them have helmets attached with leather thongs to their belts. They are. This is not ceremonial gear. This is proper war gear. And even you recognize even some of those who are wearing your brothers. They're actually missing frippery and ostentation you'd expect on some members of the other priesthoods that you've seen so far. Everything in this temple is functional. Everything in this temple appears to have some purpose that could be turned toward the cause of war if necessary. But as you enter sort of into the main hall, you're kind of taken aback a bit because right down at the far of the right down at the far end of the hall, you can see a massive depiction of Torm. It's a large, muscle-bound, big, long, flowing beard, wearing very similar gear to what you're seeing the rest of the priests around you wearing. In one fist, he's clutching the neck of he's obviously sizable in scale, comparable to this dragon, being able to grasp it around the neck. But he's holding onto the neck of this dragon, and there are multiple heads to this dragon, and probably recognize this to be a symbol of Tiamat. In the background, you can see another deity, Behemoth. Not Behemoth. Bahamut, who is often also associated with order and good. And you can see that he has this giant maul in one hand, raised to strike at his sort of his grappled foe. This is the one thing in the hall which is done with detail and beauty and absolute precision. It is. You're not a craftsman like tell this is some good work. And as you look at this relief, you can see that the amount of detail is astonishing. It's made out of marble, but inlaid with golden channels, which the light reflects to give a sort of radiant feel from the figure. And you can also feel from this room that the energy of your deity is meeting everything. Down the far end by this statue, walking towards you as he recognizes yourself, a little bit shorter than you are. He's carrying a ceremonial, and he's wearing a hauberk of steel over his robes. He has a long, flowing red, and very weathered and features. And he notices you and he starts making his way towards you. And as he does so, you hear his voice echo out towards you. It's not what you expect from this man. It's quite thin and raspy, not a powerful, commanding voice at all. But you can tell it contains an undercurrent of authority and command and control. This man is used to being. So he turns to you and he says, Brother Pedrick, here at last. I assume you got my message and came as soon as you possibly could.
Pedrick gives him the sign of Torm with his hand over his chest, forming the hammer, and he says, I have indeed received your message, brother, and I have responded as quickly as I could.
Very well. Myself and your mentor from your chapter house. We are, you could say, good friends and have been in contact with one another since your departure from your brotherhood and the monastery that you were staying at. This is merely me contacting you to ask for an update and report on how you managed to get on. We expect that you have done a great many deeds since you left us, brother. Please regale me of some of your tales recorded in my chapter house in return to that of your own.
Pedrick says, the deeds which have been done are all in the name of Torm. I have just done my duty.
Too humble, brother, too humble indeed. But a good answer nonetheless, for are we not all instruments of his mighty hand?
And
Is there anything that did the attack upon the raiders? Did you manage to slay those abominations as needed, or is there anything that we should know to make us aware of?
Pedrick begins to, relay all the information and emphasis on the fact that a cult has arisen with the entire goal of bringing back Tiamat into the world.
Tiamat, you say? They're either fools or incredibly powerful and skilled. I wish I could. I believe you, brother. I do. The thought of someone willingly bringing back that monstrosity, it chills me to my very soul, brother.
It is a cult made up of dragonborn type of entities, as well as their followers, the kobolds, and not. And Pedrick goes on to tell him, it's not like the entire race, or it's a group of devout cultists that are just hell bent on bringing destruction back into the world.
It seems that these dragonkin are enabling this cult to engage in their activities. I shall send a message to the other chapter houses to begin a systematic cull of the local dragonkin populations. Well, those who are not inclined to the more civilized ways of life. I believe that we can drastically, if we work together, reduce some of the kobold and half-dragon numbers in the wilds. Maybe a crusade.
Pedrick says, most likely, he says, but the party that I have been with is doing great deeds, and I believe will need to continuing support from our factions here.
Of course. What support do you need, brother?
The support in backup, arms, armor, and just the overall prayers and your assistance in any other types of fashions would be appreciated in this matter, because we plan to thwart this and not allow any of this to succeed.
Well, of course, my brother, you are welcome to avail yourself of our armories. Holy relics, we may not be able to accommodate as much, maybe one or two small items of power. But of course, as you know, if you take them too long from the sanctuary, some may lose their potency and their power. We're quite a small chapter here in Elton. Wild, not in this den of debauchery. But of course, you and your companions may visit the armories in the below the chapel and avail yourself of whatever you need. I will send a message down to our quartermaster to ensure that he gives you every possible. As for prayers, well, I can tell you, my dear boy, that ever since we heard of your excursion, we have been including you on our prayers most deeds, and we'll continue to do so.
Pedrick says, your prayers for me are appreciated.
Indeed.
However, I think the prayers should be for the people, because the upcoming battle could be quite devastating.
Of course, well, if you wish to present them to us, we can cast a blessing upon them, or possibly some sort of rite. We can include their names in the daily call to prayers. Yes, but they would have to present themselves to us first, so that we can judge their worth and character.
their worth and character, I assure you, you will find to be outstanding, as I have stood in combat with these people. And he goes on to describe his party, their names, who they are, and basically
Kobold, you say?
just gives a whole synopsis of everything that's happened.
Didn't know the little devils could even learn. A dwarf? A thief? You keep interesting company, dear Pedrick, but I will trust your judgment. Bring them
Torm
to
works
us.
in mysterious ways.
He does indeed. For, I mean, we will, of course, I would still like to meet them. Please present them to us at your convenience before you leave town, and we'll see what we can do.
He basically says, he agrees to do so, and then says, now, what is it I can do for you? Why have I been summoned otherwise? Surely it wasn't just for a report.
Well, to be honest, Patrick, I just wish to actually meet. Well, uh, we don't get many visitors from the wild making their way into Elturel. This is like that of our own order. We normally have our monasteries out in the wilds, where we have plenty of foes to fight. Here, my main politics, and I tell you, my boy, it is a dull and dreary battle that I must fight most days. Indeed, this is to be the last year of my service. Next year, I will be returning to my previous appointment in Neverwinter, or at least the wilds of Neverwinter. But yes, truly, there is nothing sinister or demanding about my wish to meet you. I really did require you to come and report your doings and how you've got on. Also, I wish to meet you and to stand in the presence of a proper warrior again.
Pedrick smiles
I
and
miss the blood on my axe. I do.
he says, he basically stays humble, and he says, you bring great credit upon my, and come pray with me, brother, and allow allow this time together to be a joyful one before what I fear may be a time of not so much joy.
Indeed. Indeed. Well, return this evening after prayers, and we shall share war stories and ale in sizable quantities.
Pedrick just smiles.
I must warn you, however, there are some in this city who do not obey Torm or the other gods with the same level of dedication we. Watch out for an old charlatan called Ontharr Froom. That man, he does not know true worship. He would rather fritter his true faith and devotion away in betting and fights in taverns. He is a true disgrace upon our priesthood.
I will keep my eyes open for him and try to reopen his eyes to the true meaning of this fellowship.
You may have to lay about him with your mace, my boy. The only thing it will get through his thick skull is a spike 6 inches thick. Anyway, I have kept too much of your time. I am sure you wish to do you have other tasks to attend to in Elturel, rather than just talk to an old man. Maybe our paths hopefully we'll see each other before you go, but if we do not, if for some reason you are called away, I hope our paths will cross again, hopefully in glorious battle, and hopefully on the same side.
I'm sure I will see you again, brother. Just keep your head up and be ready, and your mace ready, and your shield at your hand.
Indeed, I will. I sharpen my axe daily. I'm looking forward to splitting a few skulls, but as I said, one more year before my tenure is up as senior brother, and some other old fart can come here and take.
So Pedrick just smiles, and he then turns to the altar and spends some time in prayer before trying to find someone that he could get access to the armory.
Okay. You look around. You see a number of novices standing around quietly. The Redbeard, he's sort of wandered off into what looks like a little alcove, like office location for him. He's sort of almost sequestered and hidden towards the side. Yeah, get the feeling he's probably putting his feet up after that conversation.
Right.
Sharpening his axe on a personal he's got a personal like whetstone, millstone in his office, and he's just in there sharpening his axe, ready for the next fight. You see a number of young novice initiates walking around. Other than that, the room seems deserted.
Okay. So after spending a few minutes paying homage to Torm, of course, because I am in a temple and I should do that, I get up and I look around for the nearest initiate and I say, "Boy, come here.
Yes, brother. Yes, sir.
Please take me to the armory so I may talk to the armorer."
The armory, sir? Oh, I'm afraid the quartermaster's not here.
"Where is the quartermaster?"
He's receiving a delivery of weapons and armor. Glimmerscale.
"Send word to the quartermaster or his representative that I would like to see one of them sooner than later."
Of course, brother. I'll go and find one of the scribes who knows how to write, and I'll ask him to write that down for you. I'll do that now, and hopefully, where should I send a reply or a message? Where should I tell them to contact you?
You should send the message back here. Torm will find a way to get the message to me.
It's your message, brother. Of course.
And as far as quarters, are there any quarters available here for the evening?
It's the morning, brother, but yes, I can. This evening, yes. I'm sure that we have a spare cot for you, brother.
And then he just basically gestures, "We'll lead on."
Okay, he takes you to an area, it's a bit like dormitory. There's a lot of little spare rooms. Inside each room, there's a bed. There's like a stone wash basin. There's a small sort of this small like wooden, not like a cupboard. It's sort of almost like a bedside table for you to keep a few belongings in. And there's a fully sort of like there's a wooden sort of straw mannequin in one corner for you to put your armor and arms upon. Other than that, the room is completely bare. The walls are the stone. There are some rushes and like dried grass on the floor, which provide a bit of warmth. But it's very austere, very basic. The bed is it's hard but not uncomfortable. Okay, it's well padded, as well padded straw mattress. And yes, he said, "Brother, I have to double check with I have to double check with the Father Redbeard and just make sure that that he's aware that you're here. But I'm sure staying here, and I'm sure it'll be absolutely fine for you. Should I go let the father know now?"
Pedrick turns and just says, "I only plan on spending the day. So, please make no fuss over me and continue on with your daily routine."
Indeed, brother. I will have to let Father Redbeard know that you'll be staying here tonight, just so that he knows who's staying in the dormitory. But we have several beds put aside for members of our Wandering Hood if they should turn up here, so there should be no problem at all. Unfortunately, I've I've got to make my way to the kitchens. I am the master at arms. Really good. Much better with a hammer. But the sword I ended up wounding one of the other boys by accident. He's got. I said he's got 9 more fingers, but apparently that wasn't a good enough answer. Now they're waiting to see if one of the senior brothers will turn up to grow. So I'm going to. I got to go down to the kitchens. I'm peeling spuds, I'm afraid. For the foreseeable future. That's my life. Anyway, you don't want to hear me ramble. I'll tell the
I'll
fellas
give
to wait.
ham sandwiches.
Yes.
Ham is forbidden to Torm. No, it doesn't say that. Right? So he pats off his back. He scurries off back down to the kitchen. Looks. You can see him sort of. You turn around. You can sort of see him peering around, looking at you like 3 other boys. They're all looking at the wandering brother who's turned up. When they see you looking, they sort of all scarper off. And here you are. You're in a little it's about 10, 11 o'clock in the morning, between 10 and 11 in the morning, and it's you're in your dorm room at the Temple of Torm.
So basically, my intent here is to just spend an hour or so giving much needed, care to my weapons and armor because it's been too long and they're going to need some work.
Yeah, I mean, you call, and then you call upon another novice as he runs past, asking for a whetstone and some oil for your armor and a rag, so you can clean it up and maintain it. He runs down and he comes back, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, about 5 minutes later with all the things you've asked for, and you really spend the next hour giving your armor a deep clean and cared for. Because Tungil did clean your armor for you, but you got the Yuan-Ti too, but it was more like washed. It wasn't actually looked after.
Yeah.
It was
Time
just,
to smell good
dry
again.
cleans.
If only you knew a
dry
blacksmith that you could do this on the road with.
Yeah, right?
Well, no one's ever asked you, have they?
I know!
Someone have me look after my kit, please. You're a journeyman blacksmith.
That's because we're too busy killing things.
Normally, yes. That either or being chased by God knows what. If it's not the local guards for trying to break in cotton candy magic shop, then someone's been kidnapped, or even you're just trying to annoy a certain present, like asking for ham sandwiches constantly. Those little things like that.
Does Pedrick know where Rogar and Vistra had planned on going within the city?
There's a note for you at the 2 Black Antlers waiting for you, along with a dagger and a potion.
But no, they didn't. They didn't. You'd already gone when they came upstairs. You'd already left.
Okay.
About this time, I would say, like, you guys are probably, after the hour, you guys are probably just talking to Serena Starbright now to try and get your stuff together. So probably that message is probably winging its way towards the 2 Antlers now.
Okay.
Along with the dagger and the vial of potion.
Sorry, I just couldn't remember out of character when we said and where we said we were going to meet.
Well, no, actually, because I controlled you, and I was trying. Basically, I was going. Pedrick's not in this episode, so I threw you off
To be fair,
temple.
we assumed that you would probably go back to the last place you guaranteed we were, and go and see if you can find any breadcrumbs. That's out of character, but that's what we did.
Okay. So after I get all that done and I make myself presentable, I'm going to mosey back out into the temple and just, not trying to stand out and just trying to see or hear anything that I would think would be unusual.
It's. Your temple is. It's on the main street or thoroughfare of the gods. see sort of in distance towards the entrance a number of larger temples. You can also probably see. Roll a perception check. See what you can notice, or an investigation if you're really trying to look for something specific.
Okay. Pretty much there.
It's you can't really. I mean, maybe you pick out one or two beggars that don't look like they're quite as mauled as they're pretending they are. You might see like one of them. He says he's only got one leg, but you see the leg folded up his back. You know, sort of hidden up his trouser leg. But that's really all you see. That's the only thing you can really see that stands out. It's just another thoroughfare. There's people on their way to temples, away from temples. You can see different people, random different symbols on their clothes, different symbols of religious worship around their necks. Everybody's intermingling. Doesn't seem like there's anything that immediately stands. It's just a number of commuters and passers-by.
So I look and I to see if there's a. Basically, I'll look down at the guy with the fake amputated leg, and I will say, "Brother, can you direct me to the two antlers?"
He looks at you, sees you, and he sees you looking at his leg. He goes, "No problem, sir, good brother, no problem. Just down this way," and he points out, "Down there, to the left and the right, and follow the road all the way up towards the main center. And then after that, head towards the docks. You can't miss them. The smell will lead you there."
And then I say, "Thank you, and maybe you should take your good legs and walk somewhere else to portray this deceit, because I don't like it near my temple."
Deceit, my good sir. Deceit, my good sir. I tell you, I'm feeling better. I'm feeling better. It's a miracle. My leg. Oh, brother, you brought back my leg. Such a miracle. How can I repay you? Oh, brother, how can I repay you? And he holds you for a second, and then he tries, and he just like zooms down the street. Can you please roll a perception check?
Sure, I can.
Yeah.
I'm not rolling well today.
Better than him.
Oh.
For a moment, you feel fingers fumble at your purse before withdrawing quickly when they can't get a purchase on the strings of your purse. And he runs away from you, like screaming, "It's a miracle! It's a miracle! Pray!" As loud as he can.
I'm gonna make a mental note just so that I remember what this guy looks like, so when I see him again, I can deal with him.
Okay. You this guy. So if you see him again,
And I'm gonna make my way to the two antlers.
Okay. As you make your way to the two antlers, you see a very flustered-looking tiefling bartender behind the bar, and he's sitting there. He's like, "Oh no, it's just one of you. It's just you, one of the adventurers, not one of Ondar's lot. I thought it's a bit early for them to start drinking. My nerves, I just can't take it. Welcome, good sir. You were here last night."
I was. I have returned. I was hoping to run into my friends, the Dragonborn and the Dwarf. Have you seen them recently?
Well, they ran off recently. Them and that child of theirs ran off. But I haven't seen them. But there was a messenger who left something for one member of the party, a Pedrick. Do you know who that was referring to?
I am Pedrick, he says.
Well, you can tell your friends that I'm not a messenger service. And this is a respectable drinking establishment during the day.
Pedrick just looks at him sternly with his
much I can do about that, but
miscolored eye.
Okay. Oh, well, anyway, please next time have this message sent to the Messenger Guild for pickup rather than my bar. But Hugo.
Pedrick takes the message.
Okay. So the message basically reads, well, actually, no, Rogar, tell us what the message say.
Well, yeah, it's just written there that it says it gives you a brief description that we've got a lead on the shadowy figures, that children may be going missing because of them, and that you've been deputized by the light blades and to meet us in the sewers, and a quick description about where you can find the entrance.
Okay. Alongside the message, there's also a black dagger. Okay, completely black, pitch black. Whatever it's made out of, the material is matte, does not reflect the light. And also a small vial of potion. You can't recognize. You don't know what this does at this. It's just a potion that's glowing a sort of a weird blue.
As he's reading the message, he mutters to himself, "Great sewers! I just got clean."
Spent an hour cleaning my shots.
So I will take the potion and the dagger and secure them, and look back up to the barkeep and then say, "Messengers Guild, what do I look like? A hobbit?" And turn and walk toward the entrance of the tavern and to make my way to the sewers.
You sort of hear, right? You just hear like you mumbling under his breath. Could have stayed there, but no. You see the world. You see the world.
And as right before I reach the door, I'll turn around and throw a silver piece to him and say, "Thank you, messenger service," and continue on out.
He catches the silver piece and he's just like, really? Well, at least they tip. Puts it in his pocket. Please deduct one silver piece from your character. And please remember to do this, because I have no clue how. But you're always throwing 5 gold crowns at someone.
My character sheet currently shows 244 gold pieces.
Okay. Is that the group, or is that just you?
No, that's just him.
That's just.
You're better off than the majority of some of these games.
I haven't spent anything since we started this. All of this.
Steadily accumulating coppers, so they're like a war.
To be fair, the party does have like 4,300 copper pieces.
Why do you think Copernicus is with you? He's any more, and I'm gonna have you guys take double disadvantage health checks. Literally, you cannot walk without your copper coins banging in front of your chain.
It might be worth getting that changed.
Our goal is to get enough of them to have Rogar smelt us a plate of armor out of bronze coins, copper coins.
Oh, God. That would last, I don't know how long, probably less than one fight.
Right. So I'm gonna start making my way to the sewers where I was instructed to meet up with them.
One good lightning spell, you're done for. Copper armor.
It looks nasty, gnarly green.
Yeah, oxidize yourself. Okay. Suddenly, oh man, my neck's green from when my armor's been roughly missed. Okay, sorry guys, we get this silly stuff. All right, so so you sort of head towards the sewers located. As you're there, you see a member of the city guard, supplicant. The three ranks. You've got pilgrim, supplicant, and light blade, which is the most prestigious rank. This is where you first met the fifth circle, Starbright. She is not currently present, but you can see standing to one side there is a supplicant standing there in sort of, and towards him. He sort of perks up and rushes towards you, and he heads. Hello, are you? I think I'm supposed to be waiting. Party, but two. I think it's supposed to be two members of you. Your party's already gone. I was told to lead you down the minute you arrived. Where's the short?
Patrick says, no one ever knows where the short fellow is. I would suggest just continuing to wait. He will show up eventually.
All right, well, I'll do that, but I better get you down. He leads you into the building, and he walks you down this long flight of stairs. And as you sort of going down into the dark staircase, you notice that the dagger on your hip is starting to glow a gentle blue. However, it doesn't seem to be giving off any light at all. It's not radiant, but you basically the outline of your dagger is blue dark. You also notice that the guard does not seem to have noticed the glow, as it were.
Kind of stare at it for a moment and just look back at the guard to make sure I don't think he sees it, and then just decides to ignore it for the moment.
Okay. He leads you further and further down this sort of spiral staircase, and as you get down to the very bottom, there is a large grate on the floor. He puts his spear to one side and his shield down, and lifts the he lifts the grating up and indicates stone ladder, stone steps that have sort of been built into the wall. It says, if you just, it's not very far down, but it's not very far down, but if you descend to the bottom, there should be a gateway into the sewers. Your friends have taken that path.
I thank him and start to proceed down the ladder.
Okay, so it doesn't take very. It's only about 10 feet or so till you get to the bottom. So it's not a very long drop for you. Sorry, it's not 10 feet, 15 feet. But as you get to the bottom, you find you're actually standing in sort of a murky film of water, which is covering the ground. There's mildew and rock that's been set in the stones of the wall of the entranceway. You see that the metallic gate that should usually bar the way further into the sewers is wide open. You can also see a discarded crossbow bolt lying on the ground.
Interesting, things. And I look around to see if anything around the gate pops out at me.
Okay. Do a perception check for me. Okay. Nothing at the gate is popping out at you, but you are sort of like looking around at the gate. You notice you do notice a piece of wire which is dangling from the ceiling, and when you look, you see a small, quite sort of warped-looking crossbow that's been sort of jimmied into one side of the wall, jammed into the wall. You also can hear the screams and roars of what sounds like battle going on down further into the sewers. You recognize the sound of Rogar's battle cry. You hear a shriek of pain from a small-sounding individual, and you hear this very sort of disturbing chittering and squeaking noise, as well as the clashing of blades.
And you might just about have heard Rogar going, Dracarys!
I draw my mace and my shield and rush toward the sound of battle.
Okay, let me just move to the right map now, and I need to... Okay, so Pedrick on the quickly. Okay, I'm just gonna add you to where. Where is Pedrick? Where's Pedrick? Where's Pedrick?
So I only
That's an
see
inside joke.
Oh,
big.
you went there. Go up. You're on the wrong layer. I need to just change it to the right layer. Get Pedrick on there on actually being in the real world. Pedrick. Put it down here. Pedrick can see light, and he has sight, but he doesn't emit light because he's a human. He doesn't have dark vision. Can you see now?
Yay, I can see now.
So you basically run into like absolute carnage. But you see Copernicus is on. It's like he's like shivering, sort of like holding a large bite on his shoulder, and he's sort of like shivering in the ground, looking really badly for worse for wear. You can see Weirdhouse seems to be at that time Excelsior. It's like reaching out towards him and laying this like golden hand upon the wound. You can see Vistra spin and finish off this this weird human rat-looking like creature. And finally, just as you round the corner, you can see basically Rogar grabs this rat with the scruff of its neck and is lifting it, pinning its arms with one hand and holding its neck with his other hand. And this is where you guys, this is the scene that you enter into.
Well, so I guess I'm just trying to orientate myself on the map here. Weirdhouse has Copernicus. So we got the one enemy that I can.
I mean, just just the one enemy there.
And that's the one that Rogar has in his.
That's the one Rogar's holding. Rogar grappled him with like a 20.
Roll for initiative.
No, we're out of initiative now.
Worry about initiative.
Just as Pedrick gets within eye shot, I'm basically in the process of slamming this guy up against the wall. And I look to Pedrick and I say, "You missed the fun. I was just about to ask this thing some questions if you wanted to join me."
No, big stupid dragon man! Let me go!
And I'll just bump him up against the wall a bit harder.
Dragon man, don't hurt Squeak!
I reach down and touch Copernicus as I walk by, using Healing Word, and then continue on towards Rogar.
Roll Healing Word then.
Sure can. And so basically everybody within the 60 feet gets 8 points.
Oh, sweet.
Everybody within you mean prayer or healing?
Healing Word, let's see what it says
Healing
here.
Word just does one person, I believe.
Oh, does
Prayer
it?
of healing affects everybody.
It said range 60 feet, so I guess, okay, it's creature of my choice, my bad. So it's just Copernicus gets his 8 points.
Well, that's still a good roll for Copernicus. Copernicus! Says Copernicus is.
And then I'm going to move up next to Rogar. Say, is anyone else of some divine care?
I'm good, but I don't know how Vistra is.
I wouldn't complain, but I'm not feeling myself.
Okay, then as I look around real quick to make sure everything is under control, and then I will cast Cure Wounds onto Vistra.
Okay. do
And
that.
I will level 2.
Oh, sweet.
Oh, you're a good man. Oh, that's a bit better. Right, can I kill this thing?
Nope. I'm as a word
I'm
of
really angry.
point of interest. Do I know what a were creature is?
Yep.
So I know what this is. I'm not-
Roll. All of you can roll me a check or an arcana.
nature or arcana.
Yeah, because I mean it's a creature magical as a. There are
Neither's
natural forms
amazing.
of them as well. Okay. Wow, all of you done pretty well actually. Pedro, you can roll as well if you want.
And this is nature.
Nature.
Or Arcana.
Oh, sorry, arcana. Ignore that. And
But
let me
either or.
find our...
Either.
Okay.
Well, Rogar, you recognize something is right. This doesn't look like one of these rakin you've heard of before. This is too human in the way it's sort of standing and the way it's like, reacting. It's you would have heard of creatures afflicted by a curse that made them take on animal form. Probably from one of the gnomes. The gnome was experimenting on such a thing.
Yep.
Maybe trying to cure it or trying to replicate it. I don't know, trying to see if he could just do it as a party trick for himself. You know, that sort of thing. But yes, you probably would be aware of the existence of were creatures, and you could make an educated guess what this is. Vistra, you would probably also recognize what this is. Were rats are quite common amongst the thieving community. I mean, were rats tend to be rogues or something similar because their skills are naturally attuned towards seeking around. So you may have come into contact with a were rat too. You might have some of the in your service with the hand. Pedrick, you just see this furry creature which thinks it's a man, and you think you can wash it.
DM, I have a question about my
Yes.
knowledge. What would I know about were rats in regards to they've transformed from what they were into this sort of rat creature, but do they remember their past or do they know what's happened to
Yes.
them?
I
Or
mean, they do. They are still human, depending on whether they are feral or not. If they're feral, they'll take on more of their animal traits than the human traits.
what,
They are
forget their
still
past?
technically humans with.
Okay.
Okay, they're still technically humans with a disease. You also would know they are.
We cut out of that last part. I would also know.
That they are infectious.
Okay. Why didn't I remember this straight away?
I'm gonna press this guy up against the wall and kind of lean into him a bit so he can feel my full weight. And I'm gonna ask him,
Kill Squeak!
what are you doing down here?
Guarding, waiting for nosy adventurers.
Knew we were coming.
Spies everywhere in the city we have.
Huh, that makes sense.
That nosy woman. Nosy bright woman.
Oh, you watch your mouth. You are certainly not going to get any mercy from me if you're not careful.
Pedrick says mercy for an abomination such as this would not be tolerated. Speak now or be destroyed.
No, don't destroy Squeak.
All right.
He's
Well,
helpful person. Squeak, he's very helpful.
we're down here looking for children that are going missing. What do you know?
Yes, I know of which you speak. I know that. I helped take some of these children.
wouldn't sound too proud about that if I were you. Where are
It
they?
is for the clan. It is for the clan. Nothing is better than for the clan.
What do the clan want with the children?
Children, children make good initiates. We can mold them to be one of us.
Can I roll an
Okay.
insight to see if he's telling the truth?
Yeah, sure. Roll insight.
Cool. Oh,
He is telling you. You think he is telling you? He seems too scared to be not divulging information. You get the feeling he might also be holding something back.
I'm going to I'll probably end up
He's
having to
looking a
roll
bit
it.
shifty. His eyes are not quite meeting.
Yeah. I'm going to threaten him. I'm going to say, listen to me. You think being cursed is bad. I've got something else I can do to you much worse. You are holding something back. What is it?
Sorry, sister. It is funny to think that you think that only I am cursed. You were bitten. You were bitten.
Don't care. I can be cured. You have no hope.
This is. I. Okay. Well, some children are strong. Are make good warriors, and others are not so strong. And they don't always become warriors and fighters.
Do they become instead?
The clan must eat. The clan must eat.
How many are there in your clan?
Many. We are many. We scurry lots. We scurry lots. We will take this.
I'm gonna probably lie and say to him, well, fire is pretty good for getting rid of vermin.
Fire! You threaten us with fire! You do not know. You do not know what we will be doing. We have many plans. Great
Oh,
hand will help us, you see. We will take this
you
city by
couldn't
hand.
you couldn't have great plans if your life depended on it. Look at you. I'm just gonna gorge him for more information and be like, you don't know anything. You think you can take over a city like Elturel? Really? What great
1
plans?
second. Oh, he's not being good. He sees what you're trying to do.
Oh.
I mean, you can do a performance. Do a performance check to see, or deception check. Let's see if you can beat it.
Okay, let's see which one I'm better at. Probably deception, I'd imagine. Let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna go with displaysman performance. Pretty much the same actually. I'll go with deception though. Come on, baby. Oh, here we go.
Okay, meet or beat. So yeah, he looks at you and he's very upset for a moment. He's trying to hold his back, his little nose is twitching and sniffling. He's looking around, all over, red eyes, looking at everything. His eyes then sort of his eyes sort of flashed with like a triumph. You can see like a flash of triumph in his eyes. And he says, you don't know. New allies we have, powerful allies.
You allies? Oh, you're not talking about the cultists.
No, cultists. What cultists? No. We have strong, powerful allies. The Hand will help us take this city.
And
The dwarf is here as we speak. We will be making new alliances, and then we will take this city from you surface dwellers.
oh, well, it's a shame you're going to see it. If Pedrick wants to say something, now
Yeah.
would definitely be the time for what I might do.
Pedrick raises his mace and says, I too have strong allies. His name is Torm, and I will suffer your appearance no more. And I take a jaunting, like, font step toward him, like I'm going to strike him just to let him know I mean business.
He tries to. Rogar,
Take a what, sorry?
an athletics check, please, to see if you can hold him. He's going to try and escape.
I hold him as stop.
He ain't going anywhere.
No, he really is not going anywhere.
He's not.
I'm just gonna squeeze,
He's scrabbling and scratching at you. He's trying to get away.
and I
But he
squeeze
can't.
him. Because of the way I've got him, I'm gonna squeeze him with the arm around his body, and then I'm just gonna lift the arm under his neck just a little bit.
Some
Okay.
hold from like WWE.
Yeah. I'm just gonna
Don't hurt
like
me.
stretch him a little bit.
Keep the crazy man away from me,
And Pedrick basically says he's not going to give us any more information, Rogar. Let me crush his head.
Oh, please let me. The hand is a personal thing now.
Yeah. All right. Whichever one of you want to do it, I'm just gonna turn around with him, and I'm just gonna say, "Have at him."
See there?
Vishra is just gonna grab the dark dagger, and she's just gonna very slowly bring it towards Squeak and say, "It's a shame you're not gonna see what's gonna happen next." And I'm just gonna very slowly push it into him.
Okay, as you do, his skin starts to bubble and melt away from the dagger, piercing through his body. He shrieks, high-pitched, squealing shriek that echoes throughout the pipes of the hallways. You just watch as his innards sort of melt away from the blade. He slumps down in Rogar's grip.
Pedrick says, Vistra, I'm just trying to make him talk.
Oh no, this is a deep personal thing that's happened. I have what is it? Quarry? I have problems with the hand. I have history with them.
And Rogar's gonna drop the body. He's gonna say, "Doing it
Very
quicker
popular.
and quietly would have been helpful." But I
Do
Do
think
I
Yes.
notice the dagger that she used is like the one I have?
Ooh, that's good.
Yes, I think you would notice. See her using.
Rogar's got one on his belt as well.
So I say, what is up with this dagger you left?
Oh, you're now a cop.
Seems to work now.
You're a cop for under the city. That's basically your badge of office.
Cop? What is a cop?
You're a guard.
You're
a
out
secret
of game terms.
guard.
Sheriff, maybe.
A policeman.
I'm gonna eat a chocolate now.
And
Pedrick
Rogar's,
looks at him confused and he says, what?
you know, basically, it's we're something called the Dark Blades now. It's a force for protection and law upholdal, but only for under the city. We only have jurisdiction under the city of El Terrell. The Light Blades deal with everything above ground.
And what does this dagger do precisely? I know.
I mean, it doesn't do much for me, but Vistra seems to have put it to good use.
Oh, I am liking this. I don't think I'll be giving it back. I've noticed that if I drop it, sorry, I in the dark, it seems to glow, but no one else seems to notice it. We've realized this. So I guess if we lose it, it's pretty handy because it'll glow only for us. Also, it seems to work very nicely against these types of creatures. DM, did I notice that the blade was actually made of silver or had silver properties?
I'm pretty sure I would have done.
Yeah, I
Probably,
think
yeah.
probably Rogar saw it, might at least, because with his knowledge of where, as a blacksmith, probably would have known there's some sort of, it's reacting to them like silver, even if it's not.
I'll bring it up. I'll bring it up and I'll show them that there's some striations in the metal that are just lighter than just ever so lighter than the darkened steel. I say that looks like there are veins of silver running through the blade. So
Pedrick says, well, I've heard, stories of silver being effective against undead creatures, but Are these creatures undead?
Well, they
Seem
seem to be
were
creatures,
were
yeah.
rats.
by the looks of it.
Hmm.
Horrible things,
Interesting.
anyway. But
Yes.
anyway, speaking about the were-rat, what he mentioned, I've heard the name the Hand a few times now. I think Vistra, I think you might have some explaining to do.
Mister, you got some splaining to do.
I don't think now to do it. We could be ambushed again. We don't know what's lying around the corner. I
That's true, but I would very
Try
much
and
like to know
explain.
what we're getting into.
Hand is the hand is basically a rogue organization. It's not something you really want to mess with or rid of. I've got to try and remember the name. What was his name again? Abe.
Sorry.
Um,
Sorry. Who mocks me for forgetting something?
yeah,
Oh,
Um,
darling, of course I'll help you.
thank you.
Sorry. Okay, so you were
There's
fighting
somebody
against.
called the Ring.
Yeah, there's organization is okay. The individual that you against Cardranax, the Ring. Okay, so he's one of the 5 main members. He's like one of the members of the inner circle.
Pedrick says it sounds exactly like a group I'd like to be on the wrong side of.
Well,
Definitely something
that's
worth
still
taking down.
we
But
see.
what are they into? I mean, what if they are? I mean, are we talking? Are they smugglers? Are they drug dealers? Are they anarchists? I mean, what do they do? Why would they have aligned themselves with were creatures under a city?
I don't know why they would align themselves with were creatures like this. They do delve into thievery and a lot of different criminal um, industries as it was. Why
Roll
Cardian
roll a history for me. Roll a history.
you
See what you remember.
it?
It's not coming up.
Yeah, because it's frozen. I need to refresh. Sorry, I need to refresh Meeple Palace.
I forgot. I better put the music on. We were on roll.
There you go.
Music.
Is that too loud? Is it okay, or should I make it lower?
A little lower would be fine for me.
Yeah, just a bit. There we go.
Okay. Cool.
Much better. Did you roll 20 start working yet?
She's not. I don't know.
20 is loading.
20's loading.
Hello?
Hello. I can't hear you on the thing.
Yeah, I can
She's
see her mouth
gone.
moving.
Yeah, Discord has gone for it now as well.
She's reloading.
It's all gone Pete's on. Please stand by. Technical difficulties.
We need that. We need that. Sir. you right back. You know, no, your problem. Don't adjust your television set. Was it from like Life on Mars? Dragon.
I can tell those.
Do you, while it lost and load and what?
I think that's. Do we want to go on a break while we're? Yeah, while it's not loading, do we want to go on a break?
Ooh, on a.
Should we go on
Talk-
a break while it's not
Talking-
loading?
I know. I'm just so fun messing with them. All right. Should we take? Okay, guys. We're gonna take a quick break. And then we'll be back after we've sorted out everything,
Yeah.
technicalities.
Be right
Okay.
back, folks.
So we'll come back. We'll do the tapestry, and then. So see you guys soon. Bye.
Yay!
This is the Meeple Palace, and welcome to our Horde of the Dragon Queen campaign. Welcome to the world of Faerun, a place of spell-slinging and sword-wielding adventurers out to save the world one session at a time. I am Xander, and I will be your dungeon master for this campaign. With me tonight we have Will from Basis of Operations, who plays the mighty dragonborn fighter Rogar. Kitten, also known as Super Sundry Girl, playing the wily and sneaky dwarf rogue/wizard Vistra. Our old buddy Nate, playing the audacious and brash human bard Weird Hal. Kellum, playing the unstoppable abomination-smashing human war cleric Pedrick. Point, playing the light-footed and fleet halfling rogue Tack. And Snowy, playing the keen-eyed and keen-blade Aarakocra fighter Otar. We thank you for joining us as we tell this tale. Pull up a chair and experience it all with us as we roll on to glory.
Okay, hello. Welcome back to another session with us. We've just come back from break. This is our what's the episode? 26th,
27.
27th episode of Horde of the Dragon Queen. Before we continue, let's just say a quick thank you. Base Operations Will is one of the players. Fantastic, thank you so much. And also to Plutonium OD, who is brilliant. If you go check out his pictures, check out painter, fantastic commenter as well. So if you
Thank you, Pluto, for the biddy.
thank you for the biddies. Yeah, thank you. Our biddy shout. I will be taking 14 bits of paper after this, bring in the air, and then make you the biddy shout. Yeah, thank you so much. So basically, our last session of the game before we had to stop for technical. Basically, we had a. He went off to his local chapter house of his order, basically a very austere temple to Torm. He met up with an elder, and after first we managed to get a room for the night at the in the dormitories, and also permission to visit the quartermaster to gain whatever weapons and equipment he might need. After that, he headed back to the two antlers, where he to the pair of black antlers, where he received a message telling him where the party was. He rushed to the sewers. He was given his paraphernalia of the dark blades, which is a dark black dagger, and a potion of some kind, which is glowing sort of a slight bluish color. He was directed to the sewers, and he came upon a scene of bashing the head while holding it to sort of interrogate it. And this terrifying little individual found out that they'd been stealing children to add to their numbers, basically, and those children didn't make it food for the clan, and also that there's some through a little bit of cunning by Vistra, they found out that the Hand, which is a criminal organization, mainly made up of dwarfs and Durgar from Neverwinter, Baldur's Gate. They found out that they're actually involved in what's going on with the were-rats as well. And as we finished this particular session, we ended up with the rest of the trying to speak with Vistra about what exactly is going on.
It's like getting blood
What the hell's going on?
It's like getting blood from a stone.
So Vistra could not remember her own backstory. She's just got a history check. Copernicus walking up and looking at Vistra's arm, where she was bitten. I got my foot stuck in but then I fell over, and then I got back up, and that was okay. He's just looking around, twitching. Completely ignored the whole slaughtering of the thing in front of the story. Basically, spent the whole time falling over and standing back up, trying to catch up with you guys. And so, yes, you rolled a history check. A few things you remember. First of all, the Hand is a group, not one criminal organization itself. It is a group of five. It is five criminal families that are working in concert with each other. It's sort of, each of them focuses on a different aspect. So one of them runs like gambling dens. Another one sort of runs thieves in the city. Another one runs the prostitution rings. Another one the drug cartels, and finally the last is the overseer. There's a family that controls the other four. Okay, so that it's
gambling,
it's not
thievery, escorts, and
drugs and drug trafficking.
Yeah.
Okay, and normally the top family also includes so they do a lot of murder for hire in the city, which is why they're one of the most feared of the families. They actually have the most well-trained fighters. So the Hand is like a cooperative criminal organization, and you were working with Kavern faction. You used to work for Kadronax's faction, which in turn worked for the boss, who runs the itself. Kadronax is he's the ring, Kadronax ring, and he is a head of the thieving side of the family, the thieving family, and it was him that you were supposed to help make the bank heist occur, by breaking.
Okay. All right. So I explained that to them about that. There's about four family criminal faction. Kadronat.
You used to work for him as a slabber.
Yes.
A slabber was someone down.
I'm not telling them about the slabber. I'm not telling them specifically about that part. I'm just explaining to them about
Okay.
just about the the criminal family history and what they normally get up to, and that they're Duragar and yeah.
Okay. So she gives you kind of a slightly censored version of what she knows about the family, about the Hand.
So Rogar's going to look at his own hand. So 5 families working together as one hand, and he holds it up. He's only got 3 fingers and a thumb because at least there's not. At least we know it's not Dragonborn related.
Well, you never know with these families. I mean, I wouldn't assume they would.
Well, I'm sure if they're
but,
going with the hand theme, then it'd only be 4 families. So. All right.
Maybe that's the twist.
Oh. All right.
The hidden family.
So, where should we start heading towards? We seem to have about 3 different ways of
yeah, I mean
left,
it's
right, and north, south, and west. I can see.
well, down south. I mean, we've been standing here talking for 5 minutes or so, and this door to the south, nobody's come out of it. So I wouldn't mind. I just want to have a walk over to the door here, and just have a peek in there, see what I can see. Well, I mean, it's already open. I'm just going to stand at the
with
door.
your hammer extended in front of you, so you can see the light.
Yeah, I'm just going to have a look in there and.
DM, while he does that, I'm going to drink my luck potion.
Okay. So yeah, you drink your luck potion, your Stinger's luck, and you feel like the glows of your body, a sense of almost cheeriness descend over you, like you feel like things things are just really going to go your from now on. So yes. So basically, let me just check. Did I make a mistake? Let me just check. I had to take this off. 1 second. I've got a thing which is basically blocking the light so that Rogar wouldn't be able to see. So let's just go back to the right.
Sneaky.
Sorry, I forgot I put that down earlier. Sort of, as you sort of carefully around. Can you do a perception check? How much you?
Your perception, yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I know I keep going for perception, but.
Well, looking, yeah, makes sense.
Okay, so you can sort of make out that you can make out that there's a stone overhang to your right, the Rogar's right. So
Yeah,
you're coming in
which
towards
is
the door.
down
Which
here.
would be down that way, yeah, where you've done your circle. That's right.
Yeah.
There's a stone overhang. See, sort of down there. There's a very dark patch of shadow. Things in it, but it does seem an ordinary. And the ability exists. Might be. As for like down the burn, or like a burn, it would just that it appears that there sort of there's like it looks like the area is kind of lived in. There's scraps on the ground and maybe blankets everywhere, but there doesn't seem to be anybody there at the moment. But then again, from what you can see, you don't know. Maybe they were there. They're not there anymore. Hiding. You can't at this time.
All right. So you said there's an anomalous shadow. It's kind of like a shadow that doesn't seem like it fits there over here, and then just living quarters over this side.
Like an overhang, sort of like a big sort of overhang that goes across the walkway,
Yeah.
and it casts a very heavy shadow.
Oh right.
And you can't really tell if there's anything there from what you can see. All you know is there's quite a dark patch down there. On the other side, it's well lit. You can see the remnants of what looks like almost like a living quarters. There's blankets and sort of trash on the ground where people may have been sitting around this fire earlier, but you don't know whether they're still there, whether you just took care of the ones that were sitting there, or not there anymore.
Yeah, and I'll turn back to the others, and I'll just relay everything that I can see from the door and see if they want to check anywhere else.
I'll have a look. I'll have a peek as well. Yeah, I'll come over and just see if I can spot anything with my eyes as well.
Just be careful because they could be hiding. They are rats after all.
It's true. Would you like me to roll perception as well?
Yeah, go ahead if you want to. Okay, I mean, with your perception, it's not so much your sight is any better, but you are a dwarf who used to being around, and you're quite mason. Stone makes as it's stepped upon, as it hits, as it's banged. You can tell by the echoes of like location. Here, there's definite coming towards the right. It does not sound like natural noise. It sounds like something might be down. Yes, that way, yes.
So
you can also hear the crackling of the fire towards the left. But you can also possibly smell the smell of sort of like damp fur. But really, other than that, nothing else.
All right, I'll in a lower tone, I'll say to Roga or anyone that's nearby behind enough to hear, but I'll say to them that south and left down this area, I can hear noises. It's really strange. And then on the on the right hand side, I can then hear the crackling of fire, and I can smell. I don't know about you, but I can smell damp fur. I think we need to be careful. I don't think this.
I would be interested in checking out down to the right there, but I'm wondering.
Maybe
I
we should
don't
scout
just want
to the other areas.
I was going to say I don't really want to just pick a direction and just go for it. I want to see what our options are.
Scout and...
Maybe
check?
you could see in the dark without my bright hammer casting light everywhere. Maybe you want to go check north of our position and see what you see before we just start deciding what we're going to do.
And then afterwards, I'll go over to Pedrick as well, and I say, Pedrick, do you just want to move myself by Pedrick. Pedrick, do you just want to? I'm going to check the west area. Do you want to maybe just go up slightly north and just keep an eye out
Sure.
or listen
Sure.
out?
And while they're doing that, I'm going to take a walk over to Colbernicus, and in hushed draconic, I'm going to check in with him, see how he's doing after that bite.
He's sort of still sitting there. He's like almost scratching at it. You can see there's a few of his little scales of gouged.
I'm going to what I'm going to do. I'm going to tell him.
He's like, it's the pain. I can feel the poison, the pain.
And Bishop's going to scratch as well a little bit, the pain as well. Not because she could hear Colby, but also because she's been bitten as well, so she's going to feel that area irritated.
Which way did we come into this area?
From here.
We came from the.
Okay, so we came from there. This is
Yep.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
what you want to check.
Okay. So we had sort of walked down to whoever. Hey guys, what are you looking at?
I tell
We're
him,
going this way.
shush, be quiet. We want to find out what's going on.
All right. He sort of sits down. He gets out his bellows pipes.
I'm gonna and while I'm gonna try and kind of just whisper to Colby, I'm gonna place my hand over the wound, kind of trying to convince him not to scratch.
The pain. Broca, the pain.
We'll find some.
Master
We'll find
Broca.
someone. We'll find someone to look after you. We'll find someone to fix it.
I can still fight. I stay with Vrogar. We fight together.
Of course you can, and we will do.
So I've moved myself to the western area, so I'm here.
To the northern area.
No, I'm looking to the west.
Okay,
I'm
so
looking
as
around
you look
here.
into the west, it seems for what you can see like almost like a dead end. There's a little alcove there that doesn't really seem to lead anywhere. It's a bit of it's quite sparse and empty. There's some slime and sort of like goo dripping down the wall. Some furry mold growing in between. From where you're standing,
Can I roll like investigation or arcana, see if there's any traps down there?
you can roll a perception check if you want.
Okay. And maybe we could.
I'll let you roll investigation if you prefer to roll investigation. It's your choice.
Oh, I did press perception. I'm just waiting for it to. Oh, okay. All right, then I'll choose investigation. Right. Fingers crossed. I clicked it.
There it goes.
Did it come up?
Yep.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah. Okay. You can't. I mean, you look at the sort of towards the wall and around the walls. You can't see any traps or anything that seems to have been laid out there. You might see a few paw prints in the muck on the ground. One thing that you do notice that's a little bit strange is that one of the paw prints doesn't seem to fully make it. It seems like half a paw print, not a full print. And that's heading towards the wall at the back. You also notice that the wall at the back seems particularly rotten and crumbled compared to the rest of the passage.
So like computer game graphics, break wall here.
All the pixels. I turn to Pedrick and I say, "There's paw prints down here, but it's technically a dead end. However, I have a feeling there's a way through. I wonder whether to check there first or check north."
I suggest we check there first, just to cover our backs. So if we proceed north and there is a hidden chamber in which they come in through, they're going to split us up and flank us.
That's true. Can you watch my back as I go in?
Absolutely.
Look. So I'll move about halfway.
You start to hear sort of like a. You can see that weird howl is like sort of starting to warm up his bellows. Sort of just like, hey guys,
I'm going to take them
we're
off
just
of.
taking a rest.
I'm going to take them
Hey!
off of him.
Those are mine.
Be
Aww.
quiet.
Fine.
I'm trying to
Do you
move
like my
my
hat?
character.
That's lovely.
I know, it's really nice. I'm looking forward to my next piece from Nick from the and it's gonna be really good. I've got like a crop top thing coming. Yeah, I can get to make one for you as well. You look.
Well, you
Alright, I've
can
managed to
certainly
move.
try.
Alright, and nothing happens. I don't hear anything
No.
more.
So as you're walking towards it's what it seems to be. It's a dark little passageway. Everything's in sort of greys for you. It's pretty dark. The walls are rotten and slimy. The stonework seems to crumble. I mean, you're a dwarf, so stonework is kind of your thing. Are you looking anywhere in particular?
I'm looking at I'm mainly focused on the crumbled wall, to be fair, but if there's any holes that could represent maybe arrows that could be shot through or peepholes, and on the other parts of the walls I would like to sort of keep an eye out for those as
Okay.
well.
You see a few small holes, but they don't seem to be like they go all the way through the rock. Probably just rotten, sort of like the stone is cracked by the moisture over time, and led to sort of like splits in the rock.
Okay. And the crumbled wall?
Okay, you can roll another perception or investigation check with advantage because you are a dwarf, no stone.
Yay. Okay, 1 second.
How are you doing? Are you looking? Are you touching?
I will look first before I touch.
Okay, you feel this wall, and you can feel that it's damaged. You can feel that this wall is not whole, but you look at it and you can see sort of some seams and splits, but you just can't seem to see anything which would indicate a gap big to pass through.
That's strange.
When you touch it, you can feel that the stone feels like almost the stone starts to crumble under your touch. It doesn't feel very strong consistency. But you can't actually see any passageway or any a way through.
Can I check for like one of the stone floor pieces to see near the wall to see whether where the footprints have come
You can see.
rather than the wall itself?
Yeah, I mean, that would be investigation. I'm just a normal one.
Oh, I didn't actually roll investigation with advantage. My apologies. Do you want me to do it one more time?
Well, you did. You rolled it twice. Oh yes, so you rolled it again. You got a 12. Go ahead. Roll it one more time.
So one more time.
Nope. No different.
Alright, that's fair. So
I can't really
the
tell you
back.
any more regarding either.
No, that's fair. That's fair. So the paw prints I've already seen, that was half, is from.
Yeah.
Okay, that's very peculiar. if I, with the rolls I've already done, if I look up at the ceiling, there's not like an area from where they can drop from.
It's an arched solid stone ceiling.
Okay. Just covering all my bases.
It's
All right,
okay.
I'll go back to Pedrick and I'll explain the fact that the back wall is crumbled and damp. Oh, with what I've looked at, how much does it look like if I could break that wall? If needs be?
You'd have to try. It looks.
No.
It looks like it. You felt that the stone was damaged, and the pieces were flaking off it.
Okay. I'll explain that to Pedrick then, and I'll say, look, I don't understand where that paw print came from, but I can't tell how or why it's there. But there's something iffy about that back wall, but I can't figure it out.
Pedrick shrugs and says, "Caltrops? Spread them across that opening, and then we'll proceed north."
Did you touch the wall?
Did we have?
Is-
I didn't touch the wall. I only looked.
You did.
First.
You did touch the wall
Oh, I
because you
did
said
touch
you
the wall,
looked and then you. So you did touch
Yes,
it.
my apologies.
not-
Yeah, I did touch.
It's not
the wall.
illusion
It's
magic.
not like
then.
a. No.
Nobody can sense magic among us.
Well,
Yeah.
technically, she's so Vistra's a wizard, and
Yeah.
so Colby's a sorcerer. So you could, and Pedrick's a war priest. So technically, all of you could sense magic.
I was going to say I've heard of
Rogar is
some-
the only one who's.
I've heard of some of you, some arcane folk can cast a spell and detect magic. Can any of you do that?
Let me just have a think.
You don't have that on your list, I
I
know.
don't think I. Yeah, I don't think I do have it.
I don't have it prepared.
That's a shame. That would be really helpful right now.
Colby doesn't have it, I'm afraid. Let me check.
Do we have anything?
Let me check. Weird How.
I'll say to the
Weird
others as
How
well.
has
Could we
identified.
Could we leave a trap maybe? Have we got could we connect some rope or something to try to give
That's
us
why
at
I
least some
suggested-
notice?
I suggested the caltrops.
Sorry,
I mean,
forgot what caltrops were.
Caltrops are little spiky, like the that you throw on the floor.
Any good thief has caltrops.
Think like James Bond, like flying out the back of.
Oh yeah, the
You
little
stand on
sort
them and
of.
spike you in the foot, or
Pierce your tires.
the only thing I
Oh,
have that we could use as some sort of trap material is I'm carrying a couple of spears with me, but that's just going to arm any adversaries.
That's true. I mean, I've got rope and I have got. Do I have anything that you? Pitons. I have pitons.
Okay, you start to hear a shrieking chittering in the distance.
Can we
Can
tell
we
which
work out from
direction?
what direction?
Perception check,
Yep.
because it's echoing, it's bouncing around.
Come on, Vistra Angel.
Perception.
You can all. Not a history check.
I did. Oh, sorry. You should put it.
Pedrick, you
Okay, I
can
did
roll as
with
well.
it. Okay, is mine gonna come up?
You said history, correct?
No, I
perception.
said perception.
Perception.
Oh, my bad. Yeah.
Take the first one. Sorry. Was being a
Okay.
bit
No, it's
patchy.
Pedrick.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Thought I did it twice.
So it was a 10, 13, and a 12. There's a lot of echoing and bouncing around. You probably tell it's probably coming from the south as opposed to the north. But you can't tell exactly how far away it is, or how many are coming, or if they're coming directly towards you or past you. You can't tell any of that.
I would like to shout. Well, not shout out. I'd like to say to the group, I think we guys need to get into some sort of hiding position and see what's going on.
I agree. I'd much rather they come to us so that we can defend this area than run into an ambush.
And with that, Vishnu's going to say, I'm going to go into this so-called dead end because it seems to be coming from the south. So I'm going to go in there, and if that's okay, and then would
Yep,
to
you
move
could you
here.
could hide.
I'm
That's
going
fine,
to
yeah.
I'm going to move over to here, and I'm going to attempt to kind of hide my Warhammer's light, or at least dim it a bit.
You can your hammer. Turn it.
I don't know if I want to turn it off. That's the thing.
Can you not put like behind your back and just sort of have your back against the wall or something and just sort of dim the light, maybe?
This is like a Abraxia custom light on a sword.
Yeah.
You know what?
Oh,
You know what? Actually, no. I'm going to leave it because at the end of the day, I'm a bright beacon for anything to come at me, bro. So yeah, I'm going to leave it. Actually, I'm just going to stay behind this wall and leave it up.
Okay.
And
And I would
I'll
like
motion
to,
to Colby to come over here with me and get behind me.
I'd like to prepare a short bow action.
So you
anyone...
can't hide. As you, you've got to choose
as in
what you
option.
do.
All right, I will stealth. I'll stealth.
I'm gonna
Okay.
move. I'm gonna move to just right this wall here, and I'm gonna say to Weird Hal, Weird, come here and lay down, act dead. We'll use you as a bait for an ambush.
Okay. So wait a minute, I've just got to move him.
I love that.
So, like somewhere in this area.
Okay, I think go with Rogue since he was standing right when Rogue. Let me just check. I'm missing something quickly. 1 second. Where are you? Where are you? There you are.
I would, if Colbernicus comes over here, I would kind of gesture him to stand here rather than in the middle of the there, so he's kind of using me as cover.
Okay,
From anything that's going to come around the corner.
So wait.
I'd like to prepare a spell. Not that I have to prepare them, but I just want it ready.
You can ready an action. Each of you can ready one. What it is. So as you know exactly what it is and what the trigger is. So Weird Hal is lying down, pretending to be dead.
Yep.
Correct, and I will ready guiding bolt for any creature that is moving, threatening toward Weird Hal.
Okay.
And I will
Once I
prepare.
can see him from my angle.
And I'm going to prepare to hit something really hard if it gets within my reach. Any creature
Alright.
within my reach.
Okay, so basically, as you're still standing, Vistra is right in the corridor, so she can't see anything at the moment.
Yeah, I realised that. Is there anywhere I could retcon and just move myself a bit closer so I can see
if you
angles?
want, yes, I will let you. Otherwise, you're sitting there going, "I want to do
I
this,
can't
but I
see
can't
any.
do everything." All right.
That's a bit better. I'll stay there.
All right. So what Vistra is going to shoot if anything gets too close. Is that right?
I thought you said it was only stealth.
Yes. You're going to hide yourself.
I'm gonna hide. Yeah.
Okay.
Now I can work out what I'm gonna do.
All right. Okay. So as you you can yeah. So your action is your. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
So we just move these guys onto a different layer. Okay, so as you're sort of waiting there, all in your positions, you see another one of these. You see a little poke its through the doorway. Still sniffling sound. And another one of these were-rat creatures. He sees it. He gives an excited squeak and chitter. He does it sort of, it looks like a little sort of, almost like, sort of like Snoopy. He's a little thing in the air. He's sorry, that sounds a bit too. He's sort of like doing this little squeak dance, and then this big black paw comes out of nowhere and sort of hits him on the back of the head, and this much larger individual comes in. It's a rat. It's definitely some rat like the other, but it's much bigger. Has really sleek black fur and is wearing some quite heavy looking armor. Okay, it's also lugging the wearer in front of him cringes away from him as he strides forward very confidently into the room. It seems to be almost wearing. You look at it, the armor is like steel overlapping steel plates on its body. It seems to be carrying a large greatsword over one shoulder, and there's a heavy crossbow attached to its hip. It looks around suspiciously, and then with a grunt, sort of pushes the other ratkin sort of towards Weirdhow's body. So he sort of and it comes behind it. Okay, so the rat towards standing next to him. It sort of takes out one of its swords.
Oh.
Weirdhow's listening to you. You can kind of see like he's gesturing towards the rat that's poking him with the sword. What do you want to do?
Well, as I had said, my ready action, so I have to kind of stick with that.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I will launch.
It's not actually. So you see it like rates do. So you see it's basically poking and sniffing at Weirdhow's body. I need everybody except Vistra to take a stealth check. See how well you're hiding.
Yeah, fair. Stealth.
Rogar didn't. Rogar got nailed. Rogar's like trying to hide, but it's.
I am to be fair, not only am I wearing heavy armor, but I'm also glowing with a bright warhammer. So it's like, yeah, I'm not hiding from anyone.
Colby cannot be seen next to you because of your bright warhammer.
Yeah, great. That's awesome.
Colby's like completely hidden away.
That's good, he stays protected.
Let's see how well he does. His passive perception is not that good. Definitely good enough to notice you, though, Rogar.
Oh yeah, bring it. Come on.
Okay. So it's suddenly the starts looking around carefully, peering into all of the corners. It sort of barks like a squeak, and it like a sort of like a little snarl. And the one that's poking Weirdhow starts and raises its sword in anger, about to strike down at Weirdhow.
At that point, I will release Guiding Bolt.
Okay, so your prepared action is let loose, Guiding Bolt. Do you have a prepared action?
What's that?
Did you have a prepared action? I can't remember what it was.
I did.
Sorry.
I was going to hit something if it came close enough for me to hit it, but nothing has.
Nothing's come close enough to hit it. I forgot to prepare an action. Colby would follow what Rogar did. and hit something if it came close enough.
Would he? Because I hid. So if he hid, oh no, but that was later.
So you didn't have to take a
First
check because you were
confused.
automatically away from him. I let you hide.
That's true. Yeah.
That's a 15. That is a hit.
Yay!
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Wow, that's a lot. Alright, 16 damage. It's radiant. There's another extra effect on it.
Yeah, the only extra effect on this is while this turn is in course, the next person that tries to attack that creature
Has
is at
advantage.
advantage.
Yeah, okay, so let me just do this quickly. Okay, so that just took 16 damage. Now let me just check something. Oh, dang, if you'd done one more point of damage.
Ah.
One more point of damage and you would have had to take...
Yeah, we do what we can.
Close, sorry, okay. So he's now down to... Okay, that was a hefty hit. He goes back and 4 bolts smash into him one after another. Bang, 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 bang. Sorry, I apologize. Because I'm taking liberties here.
You broke up. I'm sorry.
What does your guiding bolt look like? Because I want to know how...
Oh, it's like almost like a laser effect of white light.
Okay, so this
Beam.
white laser beam kind of shoots out from your palm, your arm,
From
your mouth.
from my eyes. Sounds cool.
Ooh.
Cool. Okay, I'm getting very
Badass.
cyclops here. Yes, this
I have
beam
2
of-
eyes now.
Well, fine. 2 beams of light which coalesce into a single farther away from your eyes. Yes. So these beams of light sort of coalesce and smash into this were-rat. Reels back. The other were-rat bellows as it raises its great sword. Please roll initiative.
Are you going to clear the old order first?
Yes, don't do anything yet. Let me just get rid of the old one. Yes.
There we go.
Okay.
I am just so proud I remembered to click myself.
23 inches. That's pretty. Weird Hal.
I'm
Let's
proud
hope he
I
gets
remembered not to do my initiative until the turn order.
Weird Hal got 16. Not too bad. And I forgot to put his thing on, so he didn't actually. I'm just gonna roll it again, but then 16. So change that amount to 16. And
Oh, you've changed mine
Okay.
to 16 and not Weird House.
oh,
Yeah,
I did
I
change
think
Weird
you
House.
were-
Must have changed yours. Yours was
Regards
23.
was 23.
Yeah.
Okay, done. All right, done.
It doesn't look it on mine.
Yeah, it still says 16 on mine.
You
I
have to
updated
hit
it.
the
There
end.
it
There
goes.
we go. There we go.
There it goes.
Yep, got it.
Okay, so and now I just need and then I burner first. Let's actually highlight for burner first. Otherwise I forget. Oh, not so good. Burnica. And now let's do the end. So we have the were-rat, who is here, and his initiative. Not so good for him. And the other were-rat. smackdown on these guys. It's
Oh yeah.
all right. So let's just quickly put you guys in order. Sending order, and the first person to go. Surprise, surprise.
Lovely. All right. So first thing I'm going to do is I am going to tell Colby, just stay back here and do your thing, and I'm going to come rushing out 5, 10 feet to rush towards the guy that's poking Weird Hal, and out the corner of my eye see the big one and go, well, you're a big fella, and I will hit him. I will hit the big one
Okay.
with Wolfric's Justice.
That's a hit.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay, it's a magical weapon, isn't it? So
Yeah.
yep, it does full damage to him. Cool weapon. Okay.
And then
You
do
have
it
another.
again.
You have
Yep.
you have another attack. So just smack. Another hit. Okay. All right.
And you know what? I think. No, we'll leave it for now. Let's see what kind of thing he can give to me first. So yeah, that's it. That's my turn.
Okay. All right. Next person, Vistra.
Okay, so Vistra still to check my movement. Can't remember if it goes up or not. No, it's still pretty far. So Vistra is going to move.
If you move, you
10, 50. Very. Take a lot. Fire. There, wasn't it? Lovely. So where's the big one exactly? Can you just ping it?
The big
big
one. This one.
one's next to
That
Rogar.
literally gets me like 25. And so I there. Skill.
What you gonna do?
I want to get as close.
I like the battle music.
Yeah.
I take it I cannot.
No.
No. Alright, so I'll go there. Actually, no, sod it. I'm going to go up to the one that's with Weird Hal.
Okay.
I'm in advantage, and I'm going to try and use my short sword, and then from my short sword, use my dark blade dagger.
Okay. I'm gonna break character here. That you'll always gain stealth ability only when you'll always gain advantage. I know you get it now, but I'm just saying you'll always gain advantage. Okay? Just a quick reminder, and also don't
because
forget.
of the dark blades.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dark blade
sorry, I
ability
forgot.
will only work when you're not in your off.
So I need to have it in my. So I can use dagger then dagger, basically.
Yeah, basically.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. So I'll use the dark blade dagger first then. Do I still get my sneak attack?
You will, because
Yes, you
you've
do.
got advantage.
They
For
do
a
have
while,
advantage.
and I've now forgotten. Alright, so I'm gonna attack with my dagger. My
Okay, 23, that's a hit. Seven doubled to 14. This is your dark blade dagger.
yes.
Plus 4. Sorry, no, the one on the bottom is your dagger. So that's 8 plus 7. So let me just check who he's doing.
I was gonna cry out, turn into your disgusting true self.
Yeah, okay, the dagger, you side right through the flesh of this thing. it starts to bubble and melt the moment it shrieks in pain. Just you can see exposed ribs and organs basically slurring out of the side of its body.
Vision might puke in a minute.
It's just absolutely in horrific condition, but it is still on its feet.
Vile.
It looks at you with vile hatred.
Okay, and I take it I can't use the Dark Blade dagger again. It has to be the normal dagger.
You have to use your normal dagger.
Okay, so sneak attack.
No, just a normal straight dagger attack.
But you will
It
still have
still
advantage for
have
being.
advantage
yeah.
for flanking.
Yeah, you have advantage to hit.
Wow.
No, I'm afraid.
Oh,
You launch
one and a
second dagger
two.
attack at it, but it doesn't. But it manages. It's lurching around in pain. It's almost impossible to hit it, and it just sort of dodges out of the way of its swing.
Am I able to do a cantrip?
No, because your offhand attack.
Should I use my offhand? That's right. Okay, so and as a rogue, can I disengage as a free action?
That would be your bonus action.
Yeah.
Okay, so I will stay where I am, and
Okay.
that's my turn.
All right. Okay, cool. Weird Hal's going to use his movement to stand up. He sees this lurching thing towards him, and he goes, "Ha! Easy prey!" Takes out his own dark blade dagger, which he's currently holding in his main hand, because I remember.
True.
And goes, "How are you?" Stabs towards this thing. "Your mama was a hamster!" Just stabs him in the gut. If he actually hits. Let's see if Weird Hal does actually
Fingers
hit.
crossed.
So he's going to be hitting with the Dark Blade Dagger. Advantage? Yep, that's a hit. Because the dagger gives him advantage. 14 down. How about you? The dagger just stabs into the gut of this thing, and the gut roils before just exploding outwards in gastric juices, soaking Weird Hal in rat guts. The individual is just, it literally just boiled away to black slurry, falls to the ground, and it's dead.
Damn.
Weird Hal looks at the dagger, and I don't know what it is about this dagger, but I really bring out the best in it. And there, that was his movement, and his. I don't think he's got any things he can do as an action. Bonus. I know he's got the healing word, but that's about all I know. Let me just check. So he's got. Yeah, he's got few spells actually, but none of them he can cast right now except healing word. Nobody. So he's going to. He's just going to sort of like be almost. He's composing an ode dagger, and that's what he's going to do to end his turn. Next up is Pedrick.
Pedrick will raise his mace pointing at the large rat and cast Sacred Flame. That's not what I meant to do. I got to roll to hit. Why did that do that?
No, you have. You don't have to roll to hit. You do the. He
Oh,
has
to
to roll
save
a
it,
dexterity
no.
save to see if he actually hits it. So, let's see what he does. He actually passes it, but I believe doesn't he take half damage if it?
Let me double check, but I don't believe so.
Ah, it's a shame. I've got so many rules in my head now, and
It doesn't say anything about
no, I think you
damage or
miss
anything.
if you don't hit him.
it's just a miss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Then
right.
I will
Sorry,
move
that's a
forward
miss.
It must
to
succeed.
here,
It must succeed or take damage.
Okay.
and then I will move here and use my bonus action and attack with my mace.
Okay, because you can do that. Yeah, using.
And I will
Okay.
use Well, it says I don't have to say that till I roll, but I'm going to use my divine ability to add a +10 to my attack.
Okay. $28, that's a hit. Okay, you hit this, you raise, and the blow is like, it cannot be stopped. The creature raises its greatsword and tries to parry, but you just batter it aside and smash right into its chest. You can see the blow has knocked it back, winged it a little bit, but it had less effect than you expected.
Okay.
Okay. So you did do some damage, but quite as much as you.
Not what I had hoped, but nevertheless,
Copernicus.
we have entered the fray.
Copernicus sees this. You guys all tearing into this gun. He's going to be casting. He's going to try and set this thing on fire. He's going to bolt at this. Unfortunately, he misses. It's a robot. You've smacked the thing twice, and you see this fire coming towards you. You're like, Colby is helping.
Oh.
And just smacks into the wall near Pedrick's ear. It's just like, Colby, really?
No, nice try.
He's
A
banging
little,
his hand against the wall.
a little to the right.
You can see he's clutching his arm where he cast. Okay, so and that's his turn. Unfortunately, next person, the ninth floor, going to try and attack. He's going to attack with his great sword, and he'll attack you, Rogar, because you're the.
Bring it.
20.
Yeah, that hits.
That's 9 damage with his great sword. And then he launches forward and tries to bite you. With an 8. He's gnawing on a piece. Just can't get through. Just standing.
Silly rat tries to bite a dragon.
Silly rat. What do you think you're doing, being a person? Rogar, show out.
Right. I'm gonna while this thing's gnawing on a bit of armor that it seems to have got, I'm gonna look over at Pedrick and I say, I'd switch to the dagger if I were you. I'll tap the thing on its shoulder to get its attention, and then I'll hit it with my hammer.
That's a hit. Stop.
Now get off!
The blow, you can see its eyes just roll as it's wrapped to its head. Get off! It's still sort of like its eyes just rolling in its skull. It's still standing. It's looking dazed.
Yeah, yeah, and I'll do it again.
20.
Hang up.
Okay. Yeah. So you. Okay. So yes, this take another swing at this thing and smack it right in the temple, or it's rocketed back by the blow. It looked you can see it's looking very scared. And how it's like.
You know what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take an action surge on this, and I'll take another couple of hits at it.
Oh god. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh no, actually no. I think I've already used. I don't have an action surge on my sheet. By the looks of it, I might have used it last game, so I can't do that. So I will just look at it. So that's my turn.
All right, Vistra.
Okay, so yeah, Vistra's just peeved off to no end. She is gonna happily ghost. And yeah, she's going to use her. Where is it? The dark blade that gets advantage. Please remind me.
You have advantage. You can sneak attack.
Thank you. That'll be the death of me, won't it? All right. So here we go. I clicked it. Is it going to? 5, 4,
Maybe.
2, 1. I'll do it.
Or not. There we go.
That's a hit. So 6 is multiplied to 12 plus 7. Yeah, I love how that at this level, 7 sneak attack damage is in red. This is the worst thing you could possibly roll.
Every little helps.
Rogues are disgusting with higher levels. They are really powerful. So that's wait a minute. That's 12,
Yeah, well, that's a level
19 damage. You just out damage.
Sorry, you cut out.
You just out damaged Rogar in that one round.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh!
It helps. It helps
how
you're
does
using
this
silver.
look? How does this look?
This is just like, this is what I'm gonna do to Kedrinax, the ring. And I literally just try and go straight for the center of his head and just really quickly. And
So
I'm going to
this-
step back really quickly as well.
So he doesn't even
Very
notice it
disgusting.
happened.
Yeah.
Give that a couple of seconds.
This little hole it hits, and then just for a second, he looks at you dumbfounded, and something starts to melt in on it. It's like,
Yeah, and I did
like
have to
wax
look
just
up as well because he's
melting
way
in
taller
itself.
than me, so I'm like,
And it
I jump as
collapses,
well.
and
I'll
his
say I'll
head
jump
is just
to
like
do
a
it.
steaming pile of goo at this point, and he falls backwards into the slurry of the slime. And yeah, that is a victory. Everybody's dead. We are out of combat.
Yay!
Hmm.
Pedrick looks at Rogar and says, "If you're going to have me use the puny little black blade, what you could do is attach it to the bottom of my mace."
Ooh.
Now that is something I most definitely could do if we can get to a forge.
You have to be careful. You have to study the blade. If you do damage, you might
Yeah.
see how good you were at doing that. So I know it's weird. I know we haven't really gone anywhere since we started this session,
Yeah.
but I think we're gonna have to here. If that's okay, guys, because I know Pedrick go start getting ready. So Kevin, I'm sorry, not Pedrick. Pedrick's drinking rat blood. And
We didn't go anywhere, but we did get some XP. So that's.
Yes.
Yes, I've got it recorded down.
We're gonna
promise
be
I'll contact you and let
awesome.
you know how much you've got.
And for those
Recently.
watching, we should have, hopefully we'll have Snowy next week, but we should also have a new player hopefully joining us. as
Yeah.
well. It's going to be really cool.
Yeah,
Because
so
we
we've
need
got
the players for this campaign.
Yeah, and if you do want to play with us, guys, we've got some spare spaces. I mean,
We
at
do,
the moment,
yeah.
we've got Colby and people joining us, but they can't making up for the fact we don't have a full 6-person complement or 5-person complement. Yeah, if you want to join us, that'd be amazing. I mean, people have real life, and we've got to focus on that as well at times, and they can't always be here. And people always understand. We always understand the online community. Yeah, I mean, we're really sad for people who can't be with us. It's real life. Things happen. That's what happens, unfortunately.
But we appreciate those that
we
play
really
with us
appreciate all
because
the
they
time
have
they
been
spend playing.
amazing.
You know, everybody Point, Nate, you know, everyone else who's been with us. I mean, I know that play we do, and we've really enjoyed. And if you find the time and you want to join us again, you know the call, you know the contact. We'd love to see you back with us. Even if it's just for a one-off, maybe we can get a one-off.
Yeah, or just chatting wherever, you know. This
Yep.
is totally cool.
Excellent.
Thank you also to our Patreons. I get to do it this time. Thank you to Plutonium OD and our very own bases of operations. We really appreciate the support. Thank you for the biddies. Thank you for chatting in stream, lurking, watching, having fun with us. We always appreciate it. And may I say thank you to our DM as well for giving an awesome fighting session. That's been really, really cool.
Yay.
Thanks, honey.
Oh, thank you guys. Sorry. Sitting there, you're all going down at me. I'm going, we're doing fun. No, you guys made me. But and a good bit of investigation as well. A bit of investigation. You didn't just run into twice happened before. In this
It's just learning.
It's just learning. Whenever you're in a dungeon, look in every corridor.
Yeah.
Well, you never know if there's treasure as well. You never know if there's like a
I just love
diamond
that.
or something.
I just love the Scooby-Doo element of it all. Like, you poke your head out. Guys, is there anything there? And then Vistra's head.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Somehow though, Vistra's head comes out above everyone else's.
Exactly. Exactly. And weird houses like Beaver got tweets like, hey guys, stuff. I like this. It's fun. Colby's on top. Colby's like stuff like that. Pedrick's somewhere between like Vistra and Colby. Yeah. Yes.
I was just curious where kind of would Tack be in the situation? Is he just having a fair few drinks in El Terrell, or
I think he's probably
or
robbing
looking
a few.
for? I hope so.
I mean, you definitely a spate of thieveries going on in sort of sections of the city. Several people's jewelry boxes have gone missing. You know,
I look forward. I so look forward to hearing all those stories so much now.
Well, the tagline is, when they thought it was all over, they had to hunt one of their own.
Oh, yeah. All right. Well, I am going to sign off now, but thank you so much. We are going to raid, so if you just want to stay with us, I'll have a looky and see. So we'll move over to the end screen, and yeah, thanks everyone so much.
Thanks everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. See you
y'all.
next week.